Hello there, welcome to my views on news. Views 2 days ago, Ethiopian state television Fana TV published a trailer of an upcoming documentary about the Red Sea. A clip of the Ethiopian PM Abiy was published by the Fana television channel, and since then we have been waiting for response from Eritrean side, because in that clip PM Abiy was heard talking about the Red Sea. He urged the parties to talk to Ethiopia, or that Ethiopia should raise the issue of Red Sea, and talks should be held. How is this PM Abiy's message being seen in Eritrea? Though full documentary has not been published so far by the Fana TV, I think I have not seen that. If someone happens to watch the documentary, please do contact me. We were expecting that Eritrea would speak. When Eritrean government responds to such sensitive issues, the response is not through official channels. The response is always through government-backed activists, pro-government news outlets, pro-government social media pages, and some diplomats start speaking. Not clearly, but they imply a lot. We have been seeing that this is regular practice of Eritrean government, that it does not take positions quickly. It takes time. Before that, though internally it takes positions about external issues, but it does not make its positions public. Rather, it launches its backed activists, news outlets, and diplomats, etc. So, I think response has come. Eritrean ambassador to Japan spoke yesterday. And before that, an Eritrean intelligence agency's backed social media news outlet, social media page published some material in response to PM Abiy's talk on the Red Sea. I have been following these pages, these activists for years, for more than 2 years, and in most cases I know who they are backed by, what is their agenda, which of them is pro-TPLF, which of them is pro-Eritrean government, and which pages have links to intelligence agency of Eritrea. What did the Eritrean ambassador to Japan say? His name is Ambassador Estefanos. The ambassador said, there are no ifs and buts about Eritrean sovereignty and territorial integrity. No amount of illegitimate instigation, propaganda, defamation can change this truth. With hashtags of UNSC, UN Security Council, Ethiopia, Somalia, Sudan. Out of the blue, he just tweeted about territorial integrity and sovereignty of Eritrea. Who is trying to change this truth about Eritrean territorial integrity and sovereignty? He did not mention PM Abiy's clip, which has been published by Fana TV, obviously. But his comments, his tweet is being linked to PM Abiy's calls for talks on Red Sea issue. Then an Eritrean intelligence agency backed outlet spoke. It published a post without pulling any punches. This seems to be Eritrean government's position, which they won't take publicly, but that is what they believe. The page wrote in response to PM Abiy's clip, and PM Abiy's clip was shown too on the page. The post states that when Northern Command was dismantled by Tigray fighters, Ethiopian PM Abiy ran to Sanofi, which is in Eritrea. He was so scared that he decided to take refuge in Eritrea. He thought his government was going to collapse. So he sought Eritrean support. And what the Ethiopian PM Abiy is doing, he's trying to counter an internal problem by starting a bigger external problem. The page states that Ethiopian military is paralyzed. It cannot contain Fano fighters. And PM Abiy has been launching a three-pronged war on Eritrea recently on social media, through YouTube, through other pages, through involvement of international media, involvement of other countries, etc. And now directly the Prime Minister is threatening Eritrea. So this is what Eritrean government believes, but will never see official statement. Now, question, viewers, is why did Ethiopian PM Abiy take the position that talks should be held, discussions should be held, that it's an existential issue for Ethiopia, that it should have access to the Red Sea? Is it because the government really believes that it needs access to the Red Sea? Or is it due to some other reasons? There are different conspiracy theories being floated. One of the theories is that government wants to gain access to the Red Sea because Djibouti is blackmailing Ethiopian government. Ethiopian imports, exports are handled by Djibouti's ports. Djibouti keeps on demanding raise in fees, so Ethiopian economy cannot prosper unless it has a legally binding agreement about the use of a port abroad, or it has unconditional access to a port in a neighboring country. Second theory is that the Prime Minister is not happy with Eritrean meddling with Ethiopian internal affairs. It is said that Ethiopian government believes that Fano fighters have foreign backing. They are backed by Eritrean intelligence elements. They are getting support from abroad. That is why it's difficult to crush Fano fighters, and Eritrea is fueling an insurgency in Ethiopia. And third theory is that Ethiopian government wants Eritrean support in crushing Fano. Eritrea not supporting Fano, Eritrea neutral, but Ethiopian government wants Eritrean support, like Eritrea supported Ethiopian government when the government crushed TPLF members. Now, when the government wants Eritrean support, because if Eritrea supports Fano fighters would be totally isolated. They would have no ally in the region, and that would be a serious blow to them. But Eritrea is not ready to be part of this war. No statement from Eritrea, no diplomatic position, etc. Eritrea totally silent. So these are three theories launched. My understanding of the situation is that it's a combination of a few things. Ethiopia wants access to the Red Sea. Ethiopia wants to retake the issue of access to a support. It wants to revive access to a support. It wants to talk to Eritrea. Eritrea is not ready to talk. Eritrea believes Ethiopian government is very fragile. It could collapse anytime, no matter who is in power these days. Next year, there could be new force. Several instabilities and internal insurgencies ongoing. So it's futile to form a long-term strategic partnership with Ethiopia, because Eritrea has a bitter experience of 2018 when it signed an agreement with Ethiopia. The agreement could not be implemented, rather a war followed. and all the points of the agreement regarding use of ports, regarding building of roads, economic cooperation, nothing could be implemented because of the elements in Ethiopia which were against the agreement, and war followed. Eritrea still believes that Ethiopia cannot be trusted because Ethiopia is not united. There are different players here. As regards suspicions that Eritrea is backing Fano, we have no evidence from the ground suggesting that Eritrean intelligence agency or Eritrean military are backing Fano fighters. Though the route which is being used by Fano fighters to get weapons from passes close to Eritrea. But this route, this network of arms smugglers has been providing weapons to Ethiopian groups for years. It's not something new. Groups in other parts of Ethiopia too, they have been buying weapons from this network which is based in Sudan. And these Sudanese arms smugglers, they smuggle weapons from the Red Sea close to Eritrea in Sudanese territory. So it's not something new, but Eritrean support for Ethiopian military in the operation against Fano is missing. By support, it does not mean that Eritrea should be militarily involved in the operation against Fano, but there is no statement as well. Eritrea largely silent. Eritrea as if it's watching like a spectator waiting for the stronger side to emerge. So this silence of Eritrean government or silent support for Fano of Eritrean government, it is not being well received in Ethiopian quarters. And secondly, it's clear, no one can deny that PM Abiy's government needs access to a port under some international agreement, because if a bilateral agreement is signed, it can be violated anytime. So maybe Ethiopian government wants to involve regional players, international players for a legally binding agreement about gaining access to a port. When it comes to Eritrea, only Arab countries can help. Eritrea is not going to talk to US and Western countries. Arab countries can help Eritrea, can help Ethiopia in bringing Ethiopia and Eritrea together. But if Ethiopia wants access to ports in other countries like in Kenya, like in Djibouti, obviously it can involve US, EU for a legally binding agreement with those countries. So let's see what happens. But visible signs of tensions between the two countries. Let's hope that the two leaders resolve this tension amicably and they sit and talk. So far, my analysis is the same. Ethiopian PM Abiy's government is not in a position to start an external war. It is caught up badly in the Amhara region. It is facing the threat of Al-Shabaab too from Somalia. Sudan border, volatile situation there. No one knows who is going to win the war in Sudan. So in this volatile situation, starting a new war in the Horn of Africa would be devastating for Ethiopia, for the entire region. No new war is coming for me. I think just people just want wars to start, some groups in Ethiopia, but no war is coming. It's just political posturing, diplomatic posturing by Ethiopian PM Abiy to get some of his objectives, to achieve his objectives. And objective is to gain access to a port in a neighboring country. Let's see how this issue is resolved. Thank you for watching.